So you guys should all be able to see me in that camera, right? I should be orange, red, and yellow.
Yes.
So with that said, everything around me should be somewhat blue or black. Those are the cold spots. Black cold, white hot. That's how this is set up. We're literally looking for these blue and black spots to move on their own. So this does record video and audio. Oh, by the way, I do have one rule now that everybody's here. I don't want to know who the skeptics are. Again, if I do know, I'm going to focus on, sorry, I keep remembering your name. If Kylie's my skeptic, I'm going to focus on her all night. And you guys are going to miss out on what I can tell you about your devices, because that's just the way my mind works. I may already have an inclination by the end by the time we're done, but I may ask, I may not. We'll see what happens. So with that said, we want to try to keep a person in view on this guy at all times. Reason being is, watch what happens when I leave the camera. I'm going to wait for the car to leave behind me. So if I exit the camera, that orange, red, and yellow is going to go somewhere else. So again, we want to try to keep the warmest thing out here because we want a big range of those colors to kind of give us the fluctuation. So that's going to go to you, sir.
All right.
So
this is my gadget.
Yep. So your hand just went over the lens. Nice job.
Shoot.
So a couple of things. I was actually almost late because we've been having a little bit of an issue with that guy. It likes to quit about halfway through, so we got to kind of keep an eye on it.
All right.
I was waiting on my new one, my new upgraded version of it, to show up today, and it was 5 minutes after I left the house. So it's like I ordered it this morning. But anyway, do you see the orange square on your screen?
Yes.
It means it's recording. If it turns to a circle, let me know, but tap it again. I just need to know how many videos I have to splice together tomorrow morning for you.
Okay.
So that way you guys all get one giant video instead of 15 little ones. Does that make sense? Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's get into spirit boxes. I have several. Spirit boxes are a way for us to communicate with the dead. So what this guy is going to do is it's going to sweep through FM radio stations at a very quick rate. TV will give you the white noise. Then Zach Bagans tells you the things that he thinks he heard in the middle of it, kind of thing. We're going to be doing that in real time, only mine are slowed down on purpose. You guys aren't trained to be listening to this thing all the time. So I need some kind of voices to come through. I want the radio chatter to come through. Song lyrics, DJs, commercials. That's what I want. That's what we're listening for. If you can make it out, it's a 50-50 shot that I can tie to the location, a person I'm talking about in history, or even something going on with one of us. So it just depends. Those are the three main categories of things that I actually get out of these. The cool thing about this particular one is that it records the entire session, even when it's on mute, with no background noise. In other words, it won't hear us, and when I tell you guys to turn your spirit boxes down, this one will still be recording at a nice even volume for you tomorrow morning. I will listen to this and spot check it. I'll give you about 15 to 20 different markers, whether they're relevant or not, only because you're going to listen to the whole thing, fingers crossed, and you're going to find more, but you need to kind of know how I'm picking out the words that I'm writing down and giving back to you. So that's why I give you the 15 to 20. If they're relevant, here's what I'm going to end up doing. It's going to be in bold, and it's going to have a long sentence after it explaining why it's relevant, and then it'll have a backlink to tell you where I got my information from. It's not because I said so, it's because Botanica.org said so. So, with that said, Chris, I think this one's going to go to you.
Okay. But I'll take it.
Okay, you have one button to worry about. It's a wheel at the top, so you're going to control the volume. Next spirit box. This one does the exact same thing, only it doesn't record. So, I need two people on this one, so I'm going to choose Ian and...
I'm Mother. I'm Sunita.
Sunita. I'll get it. So the reason why I picked two people on this one, I want them to verify each other. I want them to pick out what's actually going on with this. So you have one button as well. On the side of this, on the speaker, there's a button. You want to hold it up gently to get some volume, and then you hold it down to turn it down when I'm talking.
Okay.
So when I say spirit box is up, that's when you want to obviously turn them up. The last spirit box. This one is going to give us words from time to time spelled out for us in the center of the screen where those three dots are. So with that said, it's going to save all of those words to a list. Last night's list, they actually had 91 terms. I'm going to clear them. They already have their list. I sent it to them this morning. We're going to start you guys off fresh. 80% of what comes up on this list is absolute BS. It does not mean anything. I'm not even lying. It's the other 5 to 20% that I can link, again, to the location, a person, or something going on with one of us. Same thing. I'll give you the explanation why and a backlink of where the information came from. These are not going to be yes/no questions, by the way. We're going to talk more about spirit boxes later. Gabriel?
Thank you.
You guys look super stoked about that one.
Yeah.
Let's get into... So because you guys have the group of 4, there's going to be 3 people working, and you guys are going to kind of intermingle and change things up a little bit. There's literally 9 devices. It's set up for 9 people, but with a shared one. So first thing we're going to be getting in, or the next thing, is going to be, this is the neuralizer from Men in Black. None of you are going to remember a damn thing when the time we're done. Lasers. So lasers are super cool because you guys can see the pen in my hand, you can see the dots on the ground, but we need to see what's in between it. So you can't see the lasers in between the pen and the ground until something passes through it. So lasers stay on the ground or just out in front of you. We don't flash cars. Yes, there's a laser law in Charleston. Nick, me, can go to jail. So we definitely give this to an adult, no offense. But we definitely keep it on the ground. This one, we get red squares. The cool thing about this one, same mentality, but if we capture a picture or video with this guy, I can put it in 3D software and give you guys a full 3D view of what we caught along with measurements. So how rad is that? So you seem like you're pretty stoked about those. They both go to one person. Yes.
Laser Patrol.
Laser Patrol. I also don't give this device to children because they don't know what it is. It's a digital camera. So, Georgette back there.
I'm not a child.
You are not. So, you are going to be taking pictures with no flash through the lasers. Case point, when your laser's down on the ground for me. This is you trying to figure out where they go.
Yeah, this is cool.
There's a little button on the pen. There you go. So you're literally going to be pointing the laser or pointing your camera through the laser.
You're gonna
This
get something.
I don't want to be down. I know what the dots look like. I want something here. Does that make sense? So you're almost going to be shooting from the hip based on the way she's holding the pen. So you're literally just going to be taking pictures through the lasers. Okay, you got this.
All right, I got it.
EMF meters are pretty much an absolute must. So you guys have all seen these on TV. This is the most common one. So with this one, it's going to measure 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. The first one's natural, that's why it's not doing anything, it's just on green. The next one is going to be from electronic devices or man-made objects, including parking meters. My cell phone's going to make it go into a pulse. Okay, we don't want pulses or rhythms. We want this thing to go crazy. We want it to go erratic, and I'm still going to try to debunk what's going on with it. So that's to help you guys figure out where you need to stop to listen to your spirit box.
Got it.
And line this up perfectly. Are you ready? There's a lot going on with this one.
Okay.
This one I saved because he has the thermal imaging. So this one has 3 different functions to it. The first one is the same device that she has in hers. Okay, so that's your big numbers on the top. Anything above 2.5 is going to be her second green light. I've seen this one spike all the way up to 150. The bottom number gives us ambient temperature. Was it Matt?
Yes.
If Matt finds a cold spot on his camera, we can prove it or debunk it with the ambient temperature being measured from this yellow probe. So we're going to be able to debunk it or prove it pretty quickly. The last thing that it does is it's a REM pod, which means it's going to detect motion. So motion, let's hope it's going to go a little wonky. It always does over here because of the parking meters. So if something gets close to that antenna, the theory is that it's going to go off the way it's going off right now. However, with all of this electrical line interrupting this EMF field, it's going crazy. So I am going to turn it off. So we'll talk more about that at the first location. All you need to do is leave this little flap open in the back. For now, focus on your numbers. One last gag.
Yep.
And then everybody, I'll have everything set up.
No, it's fine. My little delicate hands.
So this one is relatively new. We've only had it for about a month. Did you just say Wally?
I did. I said, what is that, Wally?
So, quick demo on this camera, because it is very unique. You guys should not be able to see me in that camera. It should be pretty dark, right? Now we're going to turn on some lights. I should be in a pinkish, purplish type hue right now. And notice you can't see that light with your own eyes. We're working with full spectrum lighting here.
That is cool.
So,
that is super
Are you
cool.
right or left-handed?
I'm right here.
Perfect. So you're going to be playing with the lights, telling me where the best options are. You're going to give me the feedback. I already have it set for a right-handed person right now because that was who used it last night. So you're going to be worrying about this top toggle switch. That's your 4 red dots right there. That's your that's your full spectrum. The bottom switch, just so you know, gives us night vision. I don't care about night vision. It raises too much attention from the other tours, wondering what the hell I'm up to. So this one gives us short range lighting. This one gives us long range. We're going to record in 2 different areas. I'll give you that cue when we're going to record. The reason we're only going to have a short video from the full spectrum camera is those files are giant. It takes about 8 to 9 hours to process, about 40 minutes worth of video. So I gotta let it run overnight. Like that's a big one. So now that everybody actually has some devices in their hands, questions, comments, concerns before I start rattling off some stories. So we got a lot to do. All right, so you guys got me talking tonight.
I'm just thinking about what
Good
I
thing
need
I
to
brought
do
the big
here.
water.
Is it ever on you or just
Hold on.
It's on him.
always?
You'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Keep it down for right now. I'm gonna help you get the first stop.
I'm always going to have this camera on you, right?
Not necessarily.
No?
There's
Okay.
somebody, right?
Anybody.
Okay.
As long as
Doesn't
there's
matter.
seat first.
All right.
Yeah, then he
This
can't watch
thing
it.
is dope.
So, the place I had you, yes,
Shine both of these at the same time.
if you want to, it's your tour. So if you want to alternate it, the only thing I don't recommend, don't cross the streams. I know it's a bad Ghostbuster joke, but it works here. When you cross the streams and you're looking at the dots because your eyes automatically only go to the laser, you might get a little dizzy just because of the 2 different colors.
I want to
That's the vehicle
hear
behind
some
you.
activity.
There's a ghost right on your arm.
Definitely showing this to my
Alright.
friends when
So-
I get back to
There you go. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
The building behind us, which is the building I told you guys all to meet me up at with, right? 251 East Bay Street. That used to be called Big John's Tavern. Big John was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. He owned the place, and he used to sit in the back of the bar, and he would tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys come in, they're not old enough, he tells the bartender, get them out of here. So they leave, pretty angry. They come back the next night, and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Big John sees what's going on, he starts pounding these guys into the floor, like he's just beating the hell out of them. A couple of shots go off, John gets hit in the neck, and the bullet lands in the wall. John gets up, he goes back to the bar, mind you, he's the one that got shot, just to point that out. Goes back to the bar, tells the bartender to get him another beer, get the guys on the floor in ambulance. So, what's haunting the place? The bullet hole is allegedly still here. Why do I say allegedly? They're renovating it. You can see the paper on the windows. I have to go back in and check to see if it's still there. People that sit in the front of the bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, headache. I tell you this as a warning on purpose. You guys are about to go ghost hunting, real paranormal activity, fingers crossed. If you guys feel any of those symptoms, I need to know immediately. I won't say that people haven't passed out from this tour in the past. So again, not to scare anybody with your own health, but I have to put that warning out there. Fair? Let's get your minds off your own health. Same building. 1886, big earthquake here. Why is it a big earthquake? Because it's South Carolina. We don't get earthquakes. The mantle you guys see in the middle of the building also wraps around the front. A piece of that broke off, struck somebody in the back of the head, and allegedly that's the first death from the earthquake. Why do I say allegedly? Because I don't have any proof. And it's just a great segue, so you guys aren't thinking about getting sick on my tour. So again, you guys are all paying attention. I got my laugh. So are you guys ready to go ghost hunting?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna actually go this way. I'm gonna want to call you Gate all night.
That's fine. No. I introduced myself as Gabriel. I just call me Dave.
Middle of it?
I got it.
Just rotate your hands.
Huh?
Rotate your hands.
Is it this way?
You could ask him.
This way. Oh, it doesn't seem like it likes that.
I don't know how you do it and you get a master.
No, it wants to go this way.
I write books, and I take you guys ghost hunting so I can eat, because nobody buys books anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of how the world works for me right now. So, welcome to the Big Red Barn lot. So, you're going to find, again, sometimes there's a building for us to look at, sometimes there's something going on here, but this is a great practice area for me to be able to bounce around with all of you to show you more tactics about your devices. So I'm going to give... Well, we want to turn the volume down.
I didn't turn it up.
Oh.
I'm serious, while we were watching it.
That was my wife.
What just happened?
My wife's ringtone is "I'm not a witch, I'm your wife." So it's all in good humor. I don't think you guys want to know which one she has.
That's such a great movie.
It is. So.
To blame.
Well, she just let me know she's leaving work. So I always text her when I'm leaving work because she needs to know where I'm at. Anyway, so this is the Big Red Barn Lot. This is where we keep your horses for your fair drives. The horses can hear us. There's no glass in those windows up there, and that's their stable. So a couple of rules here. If you're going to use your spirit box near that area, which you probably shouldn't because there's too many cars over there anyway, you want to keep your volume to 1 to 2 people audible only. We don't want to spook those horses. We'll be respectful. Lasers, we don't want any lasers on that building whatsoever. So those lasers will spook them. And if you guys really wanted that jump scare, they will kick that metal wall. I've heard it. So it's pretty loud. So one line of history here, guys. It's super simple. Then we're going to talk more about your devices and set you guys free for a few minutes. So the only history I have, this is the same Red Barn where we held horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. So you're always going to have keywords with every bit of history I give you. I will always slow down with those keywords. Again, I'm the storyteller, so I kind of have all that practice. Over there, it was 1947, New York Giants, and Big John. So again, that's what I'm listening for when I kind of go through the spirit box stuff, in case you guys miss it real time because we have the volumes turned down. But anyway, in here, this is not TV. This is not, is somebody here? Because if they answer no, somebody's here. Okay, so we're going to stay away from yes and no questions all night long. Think of a way to rephrase a question. I will always kind of give you some probing questions, or so to speak, but here we're going to stick with something you know the answer to. I want you guys to get used to your spirit boxes and how they work, how your devices work, and so forth. If somebody's here, tell me what color the barn is, right? It's called the Big Red Barn, so if you can't see that it's red, the name of it tells you. So you're going to obviously listen and look for the color red because we do have a digital spirit box out there with the word list, right? Yes. So in the event it doesn't give you the color red, it's going to look for something specifically red. Fire truck, blood, heart. All three of those things are specifically red. It's a message. It's a clue. We're not going to have a, hi, I'm Big John. I played for the Giants. How are you doing tonight? It's going to be all about the little bits and pieces that we can piece together. Let's watch the vehicle. We don't make ghosts here. Oh, he's passing us by. Good. So with that said, in the event you don't get an answer to that after a few tries on your spirit boxes, open it up a little bit. What's inside the barn? Animals, horses, draft horses, that's their breed. Delivery, milk, and eggs. Milk and eggs could also be protein and calcium. Keep that in mind. Again, about putting the clues together. And I'm only giving you things that I've seen repeatedly in the past. So we never know what we're going to actually capture. That's the one thing I can't guarantee is actual activity. The ghosts aren't on the payroll, just so you guys know. I don't pay them. So again, if it happens, great. I've yet to have a tour that didn't have something happen throughout the 2-hour tour. So yeah, 2 years time, I have something every single night. Every night. I will tell you at the end of our time together, whether it was kind of mediocre, what I normally see, a little bit lighter, a little bit heavier. Last night was a little lighter what I caught in real time, but once I started going through the data this morning, it ended up to be about an average night. Just kind of had to dive in. People weren't telling me everything they heard, which was fine. That's what I'm here for. So, spirit boxes, we definitely want to get those things turned up so you guys can hear them. EMFs. You got anything going on with your EMFs yet? Okay, this is a weird lot. Sometimes you're going to get stuff here, sometimes you won't. So you're basically looking for those hot spots. That's your big numbers. I'm going to work with the camera people first, cameramen. That's how that worked out tonight. So I'm going to work with the camera guys first, and then I'm going to go to you to show you more. Sure. And then I'll be bouncing around with the rest of everybody. As far as the lasers go, again, a couple of feet out in front of you, shoot some pictures through those lasers, and then I'll be over to kind of show you guys a little bit more. Camera guys.
Yep.
Are you getting the gist? You guys can go ahead and spread out.
Sure.
Well, I'm keeping it on people.
Yeah, always keep it on a person.
Yeah,
I mean, you kind of got the gist of that. I like to give the demo of point it straight at a wall with nothing else in it. So if you want to come over this way, Matt,
Sure.
and just point it at the wall for me. It should bleed out. I just go to the extreme. If my hand gets into view, it's going to turn blue.
Okay.
The wall did. You kind of see why it always wants to look for that heat source.
Right.
Again, the other piece I wanted to kind of warn you about, if it starts flickering, black and white, that's where I think the problem with the camera is. Stop the video, restart it again. That way I have to splice them.
So I'm looking for cold spots, but am I looking for cold spots on people or just anywhere on the screen?
You're looking for cold spots to move.
Okay.
So you're going to find there's going to be blue and black in the picture.
And what do I do if I see one? Just tell
If
Kylie
it starts
to start
moving, you want to keep filming,
Yeah.
but you want to say, I got something moving.
Okay.
Blue and black spots, if they're stationary, it's probably just a difference in my skin temperature to the ground. It's not
Okay.
that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Until something swirls around and creates a figure or silhouette near you,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to be concerned with. At the next location, I am going to show you some evidence from that camera.
Okay.
So that way you have a better gist, because that's where it happened.
Sure.
So again, this location, asphalt, brick, metal, cars, get used to how those temperatures like to fluctuate and how the
Sure.
color moves around while trying to keep a person in view.
Okay.
So that's super, that's the only thing here that's going to benefit you in this lot.
Okay.
Also keep in mind that you're recording audio. So if these people are asking questions with their spirit boxes, the answers can go anywhere. My audio, your audio, or the 3 spirit boxes. That's 5 points of communication. His is in a glass box. He's in a waterproof box. It's going to be muffled.
Contained.
Yeah, so he's not going to hear much audio. You're really going to have to
Yeah.
crank it to be able to hear anything.
Okay.
So just kind of keep that in mind. So your audio is important.
Got it.
Is this what you mean for walking turn?
You're probably looking for bulldog. You're going to keep going down the street to the left. Yeah, people say ghost hunting when they come find me.
Yeah.
So
What's the walk?
So with yours, after the next story, I'm going to go ahead and say go ahead and start recording.
Okay.
At the next location.
Got it.
Here, it's just get used to those different kinds of lights. You got a bright spot, you got dark spots. Find out what works best in each location.
Okay, so how do I switch it again?
So top switch,
Yeah.
down turns it off. And if you're ever confused, flip it around to where you can see the front. You'll see the red dots. There's 4 red dots when it's on, and then there's 2 red dots when this one's on.
Okay,
This
got
one
it.
is close range because it's lined up with the lamps. Now, it only goes up to 4 gigs at a time, so that's 9 minutes and 26 seconds.
Okay, so they got to be sparing.
Not necessarily, because I'll kind of give you those cues if I know how much time we're going to spend in each spot. If it stops at 9 minutes and 26 seconds, it kind of flickers. If not anything normal, it just goes to the next one. It'll keep recording, it just stops there.
Okay. Got it.
Just wanted to give you a heads up.
Cool. Thank you.
Play. All right, where's my millimeter? Come on over. So I'm gonna turn off the temperature.
Yeah. All right. What's your favorite football team? Do you like guys from the Citadel?
They started off slow on purpose. It's not much a REM pod. Pull up your antenna.
Remember that time where those guys killed you?
Flip the device around where the lock is open. You're going to see 2 little white buttons back there. One closer to the edge. Click it all the way to place. Oh my gosh. Perfect. Now, when it's going wonky like this, on the right-hand side, you'll 4 buttons. The very bottom one will kind of reset the EMF field. So when it's blinking, it's kind of going like this. It'll straighten it back out. So,
There she is. Oh, there's a ghost right on you.
Oh, 2.9. Seriously.
There's a ghost
It went
right
to
on you.
2.9 for a second. That was weird.
Hold on. Stay still.
Yeah, look around me. It was 2.9. Now it's 0. Walk this way.
Where'd you get something at?
Like, it was like right over. He said he's really only excited with 2.5 or over.
Okay.
I had a 2.9. 2.1. 0.
You're teasing us.
Around me.
They're all around you. Oh man,
2.4.
there's paranormal activity right here. There's paranormal activity. Your thing is going off.
Yeah, but look, it's 0. So really, If it's going off and over 2.5, then I get excited. Yeah, I guess it'd probably be good to follow me because I mean, like, not that close.
Hey, looking good.
Oh, 2.1. Oh, that was a 4. Look
Where?
at me.
Stay still.
0 now.
That's pretty steady. That's cool. That's good stuff right there.
It went to 8. Wow.
Got something going on.
8.9. Yeah, it's big over here.
Where is it at? Right. What is
Crazy.
You feel the ghost? Caught that. I feel like such a creeper when I have it on other people because like I had it on the other couple and I was just like this and they started kissing. I was like, okay. It's like this is weird.
Something big.
Okay. Okay.
Get them.
That's something crazy. I'm gonna, before I get to you, just so you know, these lasers can set off car alarms. So be very careful how close you get to vehicles. They're that strong.
Okay.
You have some purple craziness going on, and you also had it over there. I want to point out that you're at zero down here, and this is going nuts, right?
Yeah.
They work independently, even though they're both working with EMF fields.
Okay.
This is not measuring this.
Okay.
So again, just like, oh, well, it's going off, but I don't have any numbers.
Yeah. Oh,
It doesn't necessarily have to.
And what are the different colors mean? Are they?
How close it is.
So what's the closest?
Good stuff. I'm excited.
Good
Let's
stuff.
go learn some real history, guys. We're gonna go this way.
Let's do it.
Oh, I think I might have gotten something.
To the ponies.
Yeah?
I think I caught something.
Kill him.
Show them later.
Kill him.
Nick, I think I got a flicker there.
Did you?
I think I got a flicker.
All right. Did you stop it and restart it?
No. Was I supposed
Stop
to?
and restart it.
Restarting it.
You got it?
Yep. So I need to stop it and restart it every single time I get a flicker.
Cool.
All right.
I lost your name
Which one, mine?
first.
Yumi.
Yumi.
Yeah.
I did not show you how to tell me where the list is.
That's okay.
So no, it's not because I gotta ask. I have to ask you. Quite often. Get the little calendar.
You're going off.
Get it on me.
That's gonna give you the whole list. So
Oh, it's all over you.
where we have the list, and that's how you get it there.
It's all over you. Don't get close to me.
Matt. I've always been haunted.
Freaks come out at night.
Alright, now in here is on this box.
Okay.
So as we kind of explore, and actually let's move up further to see if you're still getting something. So let's go up a little bit further up this way.
You're going for zingas.
Yeah, you want to hold it for a sec?
Yeah.
You want me to hold yours?
No, it's okay. This is a pretty big responsibility I have.
How is yours doing? Your numbers.
You know what? I've had it up to 11 at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been kind of going up and down.
Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn your REM pod portion off. That's antenna in, white button clicked out. And then we're going to keep your spirit boxes turned down. You don't need to have your lasers on. You will burn them up. So let me kind of give you the gist of what happens here. Welcome to another beautiful site of Charleston, everybody. It's a parking lot. So if you don't know where to park by the time you're done with me, you have issues I can't fix, just so you guys know. Here's what went on here. This is where the Charles and Eliza Pinckney mansion was. The mansion sat in the front of this lot facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with that left tree and came all the way across, and we are standing where the slave and servant quarters used to be, to the house. So, a couple of things here. We're not going to be giving you questions like, what color is George Washington's white horse, right? With like what we did with the red barn. So you're gonna get the answers to your questions from your spirit boxes. I'm not gonna tell you what they are until just before we leave, in case we don't get all the answers. So, Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Charleses. So, the nephew and the son, they were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Pretty big deal for us, but you guys are on vacation, supposed to be out having a good time. Nobody wants to talk about politics. It's 2021. So, we're gonna talk about Eliza. Way cooler stuff. Eliza got married to Charles at what we would consider a young age. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what that number is, but I will tell you that Charles was over double her age. So that'll kind of give you your clue. Yeah. She married Charles because her father over in England thought he was dying. He wanted all of his kids home. He wanted to see them all one last time before he died. She didn't think he was dying, so she stayed here. There was no such thing as citizenship yet, because this is the 1740s. So she basically just put her foot down and said, Dad, I'm not going anywhere. He didn't die. She was right. He starts sending over wedding gifts. I told you Eliza's garden was with that left tree all the way across. One of the gifts that he sent over was the plant indigo. That makes blue dye, that makes blue jeans blue. So it was already here in the Charleston area because of our Gullah culture. So with that said, she had slaves and servants from the Gullah culture. She had to learn from them how to keep it cultivated in our weird temperatures. So again, she learned from them, she experimented with it here, right where we're standing, then moved it over to Sneed Farm in Mount Pleasant. She calls Dad up, not really because it's the 1740s, and she says, I need somewhere to sell this stuff, we're going to make a ton of money. So he gives her contacts overseas. Think of the color royal blue, that's where it came from, indigo. Think of the Civil War. Northerners wore blue coats, made of indigo, dyed with indigo. Southerners, the Confederates, they wore gray coats, less indigo and wormwood. So again, indigo has a big history. We still use it. I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg of what this woman has done for the colonies. However, there's a lot of weird facts about her that we can get specific answers to that are not yes or no questions. I told you about the marriage already, right? So there's numbers you can ask for. The numbers don't lie. You can ask what happened to the mansion because it's obviously not here, and then you can ask when that tragedy happened. Hopefully we get a number of the year. Eliza, as far as her death, ask her anything you want to. Eliza, how old were you when you died? Where are you buried? What did you die from? What U.S. president took you to your grave? That was a pallbearer at your funeral. Like, that's a pretty big one. Most people go into that one. As far as the children go, I'm going to give another warning. Tread lightly. Be very gentle with questions about the kids. Here's why. There's a tragedy among them. You can pretty much ask how many kids you had, how many boys, how many girls, get some names, leave it alone. If we poke the bear too much, all activity stops, including the craziness we're getting on this EMF right now. It will go down all the way to green and end. And it won't just stop here, it'll be throughout the rest of your tour. Because again, we're only going about half a mile away from our starting point. That's how this works. So it's very close. She does have influence. She'll start her whispering and saying, Nick's coming around again to the nosy group. Don't give him anything. I've seen it dozens of times.
That's funny.
It's crazy stuff. I've seen it. As far as cameras,
That's crazy.
all of you with cameras, because there's 3 of them out here, people don't like their cars being filmed or their picture taken. They think we're up to something. So those of you with cameras, you're going to be a little bit more inconspicuous because of the size of your camera and the lights, but you're casually holding a cell phone if somebody's going to their car. You're not taking somebody's picture of a license plate, that kind of thing. We're just going to be respectful, and we're not going to go in between the vehicles. We actually have plenty of space for a Saturday. I'm surprised. Normally on a Saturday, this whole lot is filled and we're kind of grouped into the center. But we have lots of little corners we can tuck in, that kind of thing. I'm going to actually check all of you in on all of the different websites that you guys bought your tickets from to kind of give you guys a head start. But we're definitely going to be going spirit boxes up, get those cameras rolling. Obviously, you can start recording, Gabe. You're going to be following the EMFs. Where's the hot spots at? So kind of keep an eye on these 2 young ladies right here. They're going to know where the spots are. As far as the thermal imaging, film whoever you want to, go around in circles. We are going to spend about 10 minutes here. So depending on how much evidence we're collecting, you're going to see me bouncing around with every little group to kind of see what's going on and informing everybody. So again, if you guys want to interact with each other, you can, but I'm going to be, making my rounds quite often to make sure I'm recording things I need to. So go find some stuff. Let me check everybody in.
When we ask questions, should we be by anyone so like the audio can pick it up, or?
You can actually use your device as a call and answer. Eliza,
Okay.
if you're hanging out with me, make this go to blue, make it go to purple.
Oh, okay. I can. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
You can do that a lot too.
Okay.
You can do the same thing with all the way to red, but she has very specific colors. Hers start off with green,
Eliza.
yellow, blue, purple, then red.
Yeah.
So
Let's go.
you have green, yellow, and red.
Eliza.
So
You
you're
gonna talk to
already
Eliza?
Who took you to your
can say
grave?
You go to red and stay there, and then go away kind of mentality.
Eliza.
But you definitely want to be hanging out with her so you know where to stop and actually ask questions at. So have some
Perfect.
fun.
Let's go.
Let's get you guys running. I'm going to check you guys in. You're blinking, so you're good to go.
Yep.
And I think I gave all the heads up and warnings. So you can definitely turn that spirit box up in here. We're not bothering anybody.
So if one of these ladies' things is going off, then I need to kind of follow with the thing and Georgette take pictures.
Exactly. Not even so much that it has to be going off. You can still be taking pictures. I literally want hundreds of pictures.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm going to show you two some evidence here in a few minutes. Because I promised Gabe, I promised Matt I would show him some evidence from his camera, and then I'm going to show you evidence of things I got from your camera. I
Eliza,
kind of keep tally on all that stuff, so that way
Tell me
I know
about
what
your
I'm
kids,
looking for tomorrow
Eliza.
morning, and you know what you're looking
when
for.
did you pass away?
Okay. I'm going to double check on this audio because it is acting funky.
Eliza. How old were you when you died?
Am I turning this one back on
Yep,
again? Or?
absolutely. Get that
What
antenna up.
president was one of your pallbearers?
Eliza, tell me about your children. Eliza, are you in the parking lot? Eliza, please.
Eliza, did you ever have ice cream? Eliza, what happened to your house?
Eliza, what are you doing? Where is your mansion, Eliza?
Eliza, tell me about your house. What happened to your house?
And this actually happened up in that top right hand corner, the video I'm going to show you. As soon as it comes to play. So that's obviously the wall, the orange going across. Make sure no cars are coming in. There's two heads right past them. Do you see that? So they're alive. No big deal. I just left it in there for a point of reference. Let's find the dead people. As soon as Facebook wants to cooperate. There's going to be two dead people going the opposite way.
Oh yeah.
So that tool that you're using is actually used by firemen and mechanics. There's no reason, like I got in touch with some of my guests. They were like, I need to see that again. I'm like, I'll send it to you. Analyze it for me. You tell me what's going on. And I've had Zoom calls with this damn video. Literally frame by frame. There are two heads there, two people walking side by side. So, again, it's probably the strongest piece of evidence I have, but when I say things that are black and moving, that's the reason why. And there was always somebody in view with that whole mentality. And we've tested it to make sure it wasn't cars or trucks or anything going by. So, and that was actually about a year ago that footage was taken. But that's still like one of the strongest pieces I have.
Okay.
But I just wanted to give you a better gist of like...
What I was seeing was just like flickers of the black circles. Which is not happening now.
So with you moving, it's literally going to take everything inside the frame into account as you're moving. So even if you're just standing still and it's fluctuating this way, the colors are going to fluctuate a little bit.
Okay.
So if you see something kind of pulsing in and out, I mean, I'm literally looking for movement on this guy, just like what I just showed you.
Okay.
Have I seen other blue blobs totally cover my shoulder, then group together and get colder and move away? I have. I've seen it. It's really cool stuff. But there was no like silhouette or anything. It was literally just a blue blob. And then all of a sudden my arm is visible again and I didn't change position. So like you asked before, will it go over a person? Yeah. It will.
Okay.
It'll be definitely definitive when it's that way because it's going to shoot the first thing in before it goes to the things in the background.
Got it.
It's an interesting...
Hopefully I get something.
Yeah.
Eliza, are you here with us?
Eliza, are you here with us?
Eliza, tell me about your house. What happened to your house?
Eliza, are you here with us?
Eliza, were you a good cook? What kind of food did you cook, Eliza? It's a valid question. I'm trying to get personal now.
Yeah. Something happening.
Eliza,
What's happening? What you got?
how lucrative was that indigo business for you?
Eliza, what are your children's names?
Eliza, why did you not believe?
Wait, you're asking too many questions. She's confused with Bob.
Let's go this way. The slaves part was back there, right? Like that's where they stayed, so maybe there's something over there. Oh.
Eliza, tell me about your past.
Got my temperature on.
What does the afterworld look like?
Eliza, is Aaron Rodgers gonna play on the Packers?
Eliza, do you watch football? It's our favorite thing to do. Eliza, are we bothering you?
Eliza, you need a drink.
Eliza, does my wife need a drink?
Matt, right here.
Every day. There's someone that goes unnamed. Someone goes unnamed. Oh, that's
What else are we asking her?
I've been asking her about her house. It's not here anymore.
Eliza, what became popular because of you? What color?
Indigo. Say indigo.
Eliza, what's your last name?
heard that.
Something right here.
Found any?
Not yet.
Not yet. They were scared away.
Yeah.
Yeah, she likes that. Eliza, you can touch me.
Oh.
Eliza, if you're with us, tell us what day it is. What day of the week is it? Look at the highest one I can go.
What is it at?
Purple.
Oh, really?
Like, you look at the colors.
Damn.
Eliza, what day of the week is it? What month is it, Eliza? Look.
Damn.
Eliza, what day is it?
Eliza, are you with us?
Eliza, what year is it? She doesn't know that. She's been gone too long.
Keeps going in and out of purple.
Eliza, what season is it?
Eliza, do you enjoy living here?
Eliza, what city am I in? Eliza, what city did you live in?
Eliza, were you here for the Civil War? Did you play a big part? Ghosts.
Eliza, what state did you live in?
Oh, what do we have here?
Eliza, are you with us? What state did you live in? Eliza, what was your husband's name? Oh, purple.
Eliza, what was your husband's name?
Oh.
What is your husband's name?
I'll keep my temperature on. If it goes low, that's when you're coming, right?
Yeah,
You get any flickers yet?
not really. We're gonna catch up some good stuff though when he goes
Yeah,
through the
that'd be
footage
cool.
tomorrow.
We haven't asked about it. Start.
Start asking.
What happened with that?
Standing in his phone crazy. No, not yet. So see if you see what it's
Eliza, are you gonna show yourself tonight?
Eliza, how old were you when you got married? 7? You think since 7? A double for 8. That's 14.
I heard
Yeah. You got something?
7, but I have to well, no, right now I have
asked how old was her husband when they got married.
Yeah.
And he said 2. Just real quick.
That could probably represent the fact that
But he was double her age, right?
Yeah.
That might be a clue.
No, she asked how many people live in the mansion and she got 7.
Really?
Oh wow, that's
You
cool.
don't have to know this in the tour guide.
Wow.
That's creepy.
I wanna hear them say 2.
Eliza, we friends, girl.
Eliza, you are
I also
wild.
heard 50 once I asked her what year she was born, and it said 50. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
Oh.
he heard 50 when he asked what year she was born.
Man,
Eliza, how many kids did you have?
I wanna get something on this camera.
On a Saturday night, you do that? Here tonight on a Saturday.
Twice as old. Yeah, that was it. That's all we heard.
So they heard a 7 over there.
Okay.
You guys have a
Because she
2
asked how many people lived in the mansion.
Yeah, and
and 50, but I think
Okay.
that's going to be related
Eliza.
Eliza. My lady having a good time? Are you gonna come out and play?
Eliza, come on out.
Telling you how I put these clues together. You see me looking up going, okay, where's the number?
Come on, Eliza.
Eliza, it's my first time here. Show me a good time.
You can hang out with us.
She was 7.
We welcome you.
Eliza, we're all friendly here.
We welcome you to hang out.
We're all friendly here, Eliza. We don't bite.
Come on, Eliza.
It's funny. One night I actually had somebody say, I heard the time 2:30, and another person gave me the number 5. This is 2:35.
Really?
So it came up on 2 different spirit boxes. You can't say 2:35 without 2:30. So if you look at them as words, 2:30, 5. That was like, I was super stoked.
That's pretty cool.
Anything crazy going on with you?
Not yet.
Okay. And again, this isn't it's gonna catch something every night. It's just when I do catch it, it's super rad. It needs to be ready and recording.
How many children her and her husband had together at 9? It's at 9. No, okay. Five and 4? Wait a minute.
Wait, 5 and 4?
What did I get 5 and 4 from? I know it's a radio, but still. Yeah.
That's what you're listening for. You want the radio.
5 and 4.
I just heard 5 and 4.
And she was 9 and he was 18.
You got something? She's got something.
Eliza, do you like fried chicken?
Oh, we love fried chicken, Eliza. At least give us something, Eliza.
Eliza.
Give us something before we have to go to Asheville tomorrow. We want to see something, Eliza.
Eliza,
Come on
you
now.
with me?
Come on, Eliza.
Eliza, she likes fried chicken.
She does like fried chicken.
Eliza, what was your husband's name? I heard your husband and nephew had the same name, is that right?
It's also my middle name, Eliza.
My husband's named after your husband's name.
Gee.
I come over and it stops.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you know how many people accuse me of making these things go off? Are you getting any other EMF on the numbers sense?
You know, not as
so
much. Not so much. This is cool.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Give everybody a few more minutes before I start wrapping things up here. Because we
Okay.
have the answer to how many kids she had. I want to see if something else is going to pop up. So.
many children her and her husband had, and we heard 5 and 4, but it was 4. They had
Okay.
4 together. She's going off again. Yeah. Eliza, okay. So can you answer us and let us know what happened to your mansion? Oh my God.
Eliza, are you gonna show your silhouette tonight?
Crazy.
Give me
say
something,
burn?
Eliza, so I can be part of the cool gang.
I actually think I did. Could that be a reference to her mansion burning down?
Maybe something caught on fire.
Look at
Because I do remember him saying, "Oh wow."
Yeah, purple bean. Oh, this is big.
Wait a
This is
minute,
big.
Eliza. Again, what happened to your mansion?
She said, I already told you now. Don't keep asking me.
I'm tired. Look at this.
It's
Yes.
purple.
Eliza, I'll ask one more time.
Eliza.
What happened to your mansion?
We might have heard burn, but let's see.
Eliza, are you with us?
You picking some stuff up?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you like it?
Yep.
That's okay. That's all I heard.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, that's what you see? Such a text with them.
Yeah. Looking for cold movements,
Like with the blue thing with the lift check. That kind of thing?
basically. Or like a blue blob comes on somebody's body.
Oh, that's weird.
Together so I can get you guys some answers. Guys, let's go up into this corner and get some first.
Oh. Look at this ghost hunter just picking up
Signals.
activity, paranormal activity over and over.
Alright, so we did get a few answers. We did, how many children did you have, Eliza? And we heard the phrase 5 and 4. The answer to that is actually 4.
I'll turn that off.
I'm actually, why don't you
Stop
set
filming
it,
now?
set it on that little, the curb right there.
Like with it on and everything?
Yep, that way we can kind of keep an eye on it. So if it's going off on its own,
That's weird.
just want to make sure it's not her motion causing it. Now it's gone. We're going to see if it pops back up again. So, we heard 5 and 4. The answer is 4. We'll talk more about the kids here in a second. I'm kind of going through what we've heard so far. We did hear the number 50. I'm guessing so far until I dive into it, they asked when were you born, but they directed it at Eliza. I'm thinking it's probably one of Eliza's children in 1750. So again, whoever's here is going to answer. So I don't know that for certain, but I did write it down just so I can dive in. I sent these two to the corner over there to go find out what happened to the mansion. They got the word burning.
Oh my God! Wait, we got the exact same thing.
Mansion caught fire in
Oh, that's cool.
1861.
Oh my God! Oh my
Good job.
God!
That's so
Love
cool.
it.
Oh my God!
So,
Because I think he was raising his hand and just asked you that, but you said it first. Oh my
yeah, so we
God.
have the word burning. And I will definitely mark down as we're going up to our next spot, like what you just told me. So remind me so I don't forget to write it down, the fact that it was a double whammy. So that's nice. Good stuff. I kind of gave them a heads up though, like they got the word house and then they had the
Oh,
word
look at that.
Diablo.
We just got gasping.
After everybody was like,
Oh, because I'm gasping.
They're getting a lot of things that are like happening in real time with us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
This is
You
I will
guys
be
want to
honest,
come look
last
at our
night's
list, feel
phrase,
free.
no, 2 nights ago, it was really light. I think I only had 3 terms that popped up that were loosely related. Tonight, you guys are really picking up on some extra things.
I told me and Eliza we were going to be friends.
You did.
We there.
Yeah,
We're there.
yeah. No.
No, we cool. We there.
Just no. You're not gonna see her for long.
This EMF has been going off the entire time in between yellow and red, so that's definitely something that'll be in your notes. And of course, this spirit box, I'm going to be listening to it. So at times, I don't write her stuff down until, like, I'm working tomorrow morning on that audio. So it's recording, so you guys will all hear it as well. This device has just been going bonkers, but it was also going bonkers back at the Big Red Barn. So I'm also testing if it's Kylie making it go off. So again, is there something going on with her? Did she bring somebody with her that isn't related to what I'm telling you guys?
You haunted.
So it happens, guys. I've given tours to veterans where it didn't matter what story I told. Everything that came out of the spirit boxes was about the war vet that they lost overseas. I've seen it 4 or 5 times in the 2 years I've been doing this. Happens all the time. So again, did she bring somebody with her? She and I are going to chat about that as we roll along. So, Let's see. Let me give you guys the answers to the rest of the questions. So, what are you guys most curious about? Where do I start? Because we already have some answers. When she got married, she was 22. He was 45.
Okay.
I told you he was over double. So I kind of give you that. And I've had the over double show up on spirit boxes. Like, keep going because somebody might be close. So there were 4 kids. We already know that. There were 3 boys, 1 girl. So Charles already gave you that answer. Thomas, and then baby George. So George was named after Eliza's father. So there's 2 Georges so far. The interesting thing is that I was actually waiting for it because when I forget something, like to tell you guys, it pops up on a spirit box somewhere. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. So they both go by their maiden name. Yeah, and they both start with the letter L, ironically. So the one who planted the indigo was Eliza Lucas Pinckney, and the first wife was Eliza Lamb Pinckney. So a lot of times if I forget something, like the Constitution bit, this was last week, I forgot to tell my group about, the signers of the Constitution. I dove right into Eliza, the word Constitution showed up. No lie.
Wow.
So at any rate, the interesting thing about George, baby George, was named after Eliza's father. So what's her father's name? George what?
Senior.
George the first.
Her maiden name was Lucas.
Oh, George
Lucas. So,
What? Star Wars? It's all coming together rather
I
nicely.
know.
now.
George
So when Star Wars shows up, it's all about the granddad. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting piece there. And then there was 1 daughter, Harriet. Oh, getting back to baby George, that's the tragedy. The baby died as an infant. There's no grave for the child. All we have is a death certificate. It's the same month and year of birth and death. So I don't know if it was days or weeks. We have no idea. So again, that's the tragedy. Don't poke the bear. Sometimes she gives us a number 3 when you ask her how many kids she has, and then it says no baby somewhere else. So again, it's all about putting the clues together. I've seen it. Let's her death. Let's get into that. She was 70 years old when she died in 1793. So she died in Philadelphia from breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
Think about that for a second. Breast cancer wasn't a thing yet. We're going off her medical records. So again, cancer shows up. Actually, cancer showed up here a few nights ago as we were walking out. So again, it just popped up out of nowhere. Like, hey, don't forget, I died of cancer. It's an interesting thing. Now that you guys know what year she died, any guesses on which president was the pallbearer? 1793. Going once, twice. George Washington. So things with George Washington, and that's not something.
It was the name of her dad. Same as her dad.
George Lucas was the name of her dad. George Washington was the president. So there's 3 Georges, 2 Elizas, 3
So
Charles.
many Charles and Georges.
Yeah, so that's why I always need an extra clue. I need to know who the heck we're talking to. With George, clues will come up like Martha, wood, cherry, apple. Why wood?
That's why.
When he chopped down the cherry tree.
Keep going. Why the wood?
Oh, his teeth.
His teeth.
Oh.
Right. He had wooden dentures.
Yeah, his teeth were wooden.
So
Everybody's teeth were wood back then.
I know,
Crazy time.
but he was famous. So
He was. And he was super tall.
So here's what happens from here. 'Cause I think I gave you the 1861 fire. Every tour guide, if you guys are taking any other tour, they're going to talk about a great fire of whatever year it happened in. This one went from Peninsula Coast to Peninsula Coast. This building just happened to be in the way. So again, with the amount of evidence we caught every weekend. All right, so this device behind us has not gone off since we set it down. So I'm going to have you pick it back up as I kind of tell the group what we're going to be doing. You can go ahead and grab it. So from here, guys, we're going to be going up 3 blocks to the Lodge Alley. Where are we at on time? And how are you feeling?
You got a spirit.
Did it go off again?
I touched this though. If I get too close to this.
We're like
Maybe it's your watch.
10:08.
Oh yeah, it could be.
Oh, you have an Apple Watch.
Just an Apple Watch. Yeah.
We're going to go to Lodge Alley from here. Spirit boxes. Listen on your boxes for names. I'm not going to tell you what gender or what names. I will explain once we get there. Once we enter the alley. Where's my picture taker? Georgette. So you're going to take a picture or 2 once we get to the alley. No lasers. We're looking for regular light anomalies. So again, you're going to be super still because there's no flash before we all walk down. That way it's nice and empty and you guys got a creepy photo of some cobblestones. So hopefully there's something in that picture when we take it. No lasers on East Bay Street. That will get Nick arrested. No lasers in Lodge Alley. You're kind of out of the game for a little while. Sorry, you're on pause. EMF meters, including yours, will go off along East Bay Street because of the parking meters. You can turn down your REM pod, ignore your EMF meters until we get to Lodge Alley. In Lodge Alley, where's the other one? So yours might go up to a certain dot and just stay there and not flicker at all. That's probably steady from the restaurant. Until we get a little bit further, Lodge Alley is a brief stop, just so you guys get to see some cobblestone, and I need to give you a little bit more layout of the land before we dive into the last bit of the investigation pieces. Again, with the names, I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I'll explain them once I get there. So, you guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right.
When do I start recording?
We're going to start, if we can get close to that one cemetery.
How is her wordless generator?
You'll tell me when.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll give you the...
Cool though.
Is it like what it hears?
I think so.
Or like what we're saying, or what?
I think. I don't know. Pretty cool.
Or maybe what the
Bless you.
spirits are saying?
Yeah. You think you brought somebody with you?
I don't know who it would be. The only person like I was ever really that close to who passed away was my grandma. Her name was Elizabeth. She
Ooh.
never went by Eliza,
That would be kind of cool though.
but Elizabeth. But she was nicknamed Betty.
Okay.
She's like, she's the only one. You know.
Anybody else that actually like fought in a war?
I don't think I would have known it.
Not my new shoes.
Oh, they got you?
No, we're good.
California, yeah.
Yeah.
The city's definitely still
I
alive.
know. So he's gonna be bumping all night.
Something tells me these bars are open like late.
Yeah. That's what's crazy. Why the stores are closed so early.
Well, I think like the night stores were, like, because they're scared of riffraff. These are mostly all open. Pretty cool to get some coffee.
You wanna get some coffee tonight?
Like not like
No, yeah.
like ground coffee to bring it home.
Right. I want to think of some cool stuff. I'm not thinking of anything.
Yeah, but maybe you just have to look through it.
Nobody's telling me burn and
Yeah,
kids they have.
get to hear things. That's cool. Well, mine's
That
not
blew
going
my
up
mind,
anymore.
actually.
That's nice. But y'all have the one that's like scanning all the radio stations and everything, right? That's so
cool.
nuts that like you're able to pick that up from, right? Like to hear burn from that, or to hear to hear anything.
Hear all the numbers too.
Hear the number.
Of course we're broke as shit. I went to college. Oh no, I'm sorry.
I just want to go home. Hang around before I'm
I hear you, kid.
What is it?
I just want to go home.
You don't.
It's like, yeah, it's pretty late for a little kid.
Oh, okay.
It's like 10, 15 right now for a kid.
Yeah, I know little kids would do that. What's that? That's really cool.
United States Custom House.
What is that? Okay.
Wow. I'm on 33. Oh, we got some activity.
25.
We got some paranormal activity here. think other people just look at us as like, these guys are just fearless. Walking around with their ghost toys. There's a big age difference in the couple there.
You know what I mean? Right.
Oh, we can walk over here. This is cool.
No, this is really cool.
Slightly north of Broad.
These are like,
Look at that.
there's some nightlife over here.
Look at that place.
Holy
Slightly
cow.
north of
Look
Broad.
at that place. It's in the wine cellar.
Oh, Flugan Smokehouse. So they had barbecue for your, or the pork for your meal.
Eliza, are you still with us? Do you follow us?
Elizabeth Hogan, are you with us?
You didn't understand what I was doing.
No.
Ooh, the gin joint. What is that? Gin? And one day when you're rich, we'll stay a week at the island and eat here every single night. At a
Oh
different
my
place.
gosh.
How's that sound?
We know now.
That sounds amazing.
Okay.
This thing keeps coming out.
Keep it like upright on this. I think my sister would like this.
This is what every person who's eating a really nice steak meal wants to see is some Ghostbusters.
They're $90.
Yeah.
Look at this. 30s.
Oh, that's cool. We got some activity over here. Nick! Nick!
What is the story about this?
Alright, let's group up a little bit closer because we will have security passing through doing his last final check-in. We might just pass this hour though. So again, this will be pretty brief. Did we hear any names along the way on the spirit boxes?
You told me to turn it down.
In here. So along the way, did you hear anything on East Bay Street?
No, it's the other people passing by and they were talking.
Carson?
No. The reason why I was asking for names is
Piper.
this. Piper. Sounds like a job to me. This is, when we crossed that last crosswalk coming over, that was the original Charlestown wall going up Cumberland Street. You're on one of the original streets of Charlestown. So that's one of the reasons why I bring you down here. These two buildings weren't here. Little shotgun houses. Sorry, that's what you got me to talk to. But little shotgun houses, which means I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived down here. It's not an extensive list, it's only like 2 or 3 pages. But the names I commonly hear are Benjamin and John. Why is that relevant? Because they both lived here in 1801, and that's 2 out of 5 people that lived here. It's pretty good odds when I hear them about once a quarter. So again, and if we're kind of confused on which John it is, he gives me his last name too, which is Johnson. So again, it just depends. Yeah, John Johnson. All right. So again, in the event we have something pop up on one of your boxes, I will definitely give you the link to that full archaeological report that shows you all the list of names and tell you what page to go to. The other things that happen here, this is where the Freemasons had their lodge before it was residential. So Masonic Lodge, that's why it's called Lodge Alley. The hotel behind you is called Lodge Alley Inn. Obviously, every hotel in Charleston has some kind of claim of ghosts. They don't give me free rooms to verify. Next summer, the wife and I are doing a round for every hotel that has a claim, so we can actually have more podcast episodes. So we're either going to verify or debunk pretty quickly. So when we do our investigations, we're pretty intense. There's a lot more that goes into it than what you guys are using right here. So let's see what else goes on down here. I think that pretty much pointed everything out, but these people, just remember, they were lower class. The other part of the wall went down East Bay Street across from where we were, so it was starting to head south. I'm going to point out more about that later. But the smell of low tide coming down here, little shotgun houses, they did find tools and silverware, pieces of their clothing. They were able to verify that these people were lower class. And there's a lot of bones that were found in here too that are probably still here because of the way bones work when you find them. It takes a whole lot of money to bring them out, so that it's easier to leave them in. So, from here, we're going to be cutting through a neighborhood. We're literally right on the cusp of where tour guides are allowed to go. I have to follow the tourism laws. We're going to go across the street and make a right, and it's definitely still in no laser zone. You can turn the spirit boxes on, audible to you only. Just remember, people live nearby. So until we kind of turn that corner and get around the gist, that's where we're going to be ending up. So pictures, if you want to grab some on the way out, you can. I think that about covers it in this location. I'd just like to give you guys a little bit of a stepping break, get used to some cobblestone, because you're going to be walking on it for the next week at least. So let's head up there.
Benjamin John Johnson. Show yourselves. Nothing. Damn it. Trying to get something. Yeah, it's really, really nice. Amazing, maybe there's 400, like 500,000 people here.
Doesn't feel like it, does it?
Doesn't really feel like it.
I mean, it's like it's big, but
when you consider all the tourists that are here too, you're like 400,000. That's a lot.
So much more tame here. Like not tame, but like this afternoon was crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone was in that area.
I do want to do just like with a resort or something on a beach, like it'd be sweet.
Do what?
Come back to Charleston and do like a resort.
For sure, no doubt. But there's some cool ones on that island.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Or like maybe close to Poly Beach even.
Yep.
Either way, one of the two.
Yeah, this is cool down here. I want to try the restaurants.
Try them all?
Like they're just cool vibes.
Yeah. All the Southern
Yeah.
Belle restaurants. Just going in there and like, man, I feel fancy as hell.
Yeah, it's such a cool like
Yeah.
atmosphere in there. I don't think the prices are, you know, we saw new to like,
No, they weren't bad.
like Chicago.
Are we getting some activity?
Yeah, 3.
He seems so cool.
He did.
Everyone I think seems really cool. So it's not.
But yeah, he seems
All the cobblestone, pretty cool.
Pretty wild. Is that like the original?
Also,
Really?
yeah. So that was one of the original streets that we were just on. I think that this like definitely kind of helps me to see what Charleston was and is,
Yeah.
and respect it a lot more. It's a foodie town though.
So cool.
I think that more than anything, it's a foodie town.
Yep. Like the beach.
Yep.
There's cool bars too.
The Capitol building. Now there's another good tour.
Up here. Oh god. Look at all these people.
Have a seat, everybody. We're going to chill for a few minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Take a break. See, you guys paid me to come to work, and now I'm giving you a break.
Yay, thank you.
Let's go ahead and turn down those spirit boxes. Did we hear anything along the way?
Thank you. Talking back to us. We were asking for names and they said why.
Why?
And then we said, no, you tell us why. And we said, you.
There's definitely control.
That's the reason why children come back to the farm.
Nick, what's the name of your podcast?
Stories in the Cemetery. It's actually how everything got started, was through the podcast.
Okay.
Well, the interesting thing is one day last week we had the term old baby show up here, which was completely relevant to the story they tell up there. So of course I had to tell it based on that.
Oh, wait.
Old baby. So I'll tell that story. But did everybody kind of notice the beautiful alley that we passed up, the brick alley? So that is called Philadelphia Alley now. It used to be called Jewelers Alley.
Ooh.
That's where all the duels used to occur for Charleston.
In the
I'll
alley?
tell the story of, yeah.
It's tiny.
Yeah. Well, it actually goes quite a ways.
I just mean like if the width-wise, like
Yeah.
if you were going to shoot somebody.
You only need so much.
Right?
No, so much space.
Yeah, I
So
know, right? It's just
it's
that.
not much.
Yeah.
So with that said, we all tell the same story. Let's actually, where's the word list at? How are we doing on it? Maybe something's going to steer me in a different direction instead of the. No, nothing. I'm going to stick to the normal. All right. So if you guys take a look behind you, that's the wall to Philadelphia Alley, and there's a doorway in the center of it. So the reason why that doorway is there, so if there was a loser in one of these duels, the dead guy, they would pick him up and carry him over this courtyard, over to the cemetery, drop the body in a pre-dug grave, then they'd go celebrate the winner with a pint. So that's the reason why that doorway is actually there. So the story that we normally tell is because we can prove it. This is a real person.
Really?
So that's what we actually want. So there was a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. He's supposed to get, his name is Joseph Brown Ladd, by the way. So in case his name pops up. A lot of keywords in this one, so when we're listening to your spirit box. So he's supposed to get married to his fiancee, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The attorney handling that money said, send the doctor away. I think he's just after your cash. So he moves to Charleston. He's dressed pretty well. He just graduated med school. The coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start to his stay in Charleston. Somebody walking by named Ralph Isaacs, he's a local attorney in town. He sees what's going on and he says, you don't want to stay here. Let me take you to some friends of mine. He takes him down to 59 Church Street. We're on Church Street, so it's on this road. The doctor's practice starts to take off. He's making lots of money. Amanda's moving down soon. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor because he whistled all the time. That was his thing. So, him and Ralph becoming friends. The doctor makes more money. They go see plays together, but the doctor gets better tickets because he gets better seats. He makes more money. That's just the way things work in Charleston. So they go see William III one night. They're on their way home talking about the play. The doctor loves the new actress. Ralph does not. They start arguing. Then it turns into an insult party on the doctor's fiancee Amanda back home. So obviously they get pretty angry at each other and they go their separate ways. So Ralph is from here. He goes to his friends over at the newspaper. So he goes to his friends over at the newspaper and he wants to place an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what a disgrace the doctor is. So, yeah.
Who's the attorney?
Yeah. Kind of a jerk move. Oh, you're good?
Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're
Sorry
good.
to push on through.
Oh, you're fine. How are you? You're good, man. Busy.
I mean, there's not unlimited of them.
They didn't have any defamation or slander laws back then?
No. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, it's old.
Oh, you're good. So, how does the doctor rebuttal? He sees the ad, obviously.
He challenges him to a duel.
Let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. They come down. They take 20 paces. They turn. The doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He did not want to shoot his friend. He was just willing to forgive. Let's move on. However, Ralph still has his one shot. He puts it in the kneecap of the doctor. So instead of coming through the death gate that I told you about earlier, they carried him home to 59 Church Street. And that house now is called the Thomas Rose House. And that's the only house we have in town that actually has a ghost story on the outside plaque, which is the story I'm telling you. It's a very interesting fact. So, with that, his friends carried him home. He dies 10 days later, probably from bleeding out. Right.
Their infection.
As you walk through the alley, they say you can hear the whistles from the doctor. So when you're walking through there, it's residential. I know you guys seen other tours down there. Technically, we're not allowed down there. I got caught with my noisy groups, the spirit boxes and all of that, so I don't go down there anymore. I've already gotten my warning phone call from the office. So it was a matter of, okay, I'm going to stop going down there, but I can still tell the story because evidence still shows itself. So that's the great story that happens there. I'm going to tell you the story that they're telling up there just because that's the most popular spot for ghost tours, by the way.
So what happened to the doctor's house? Are you tell us that now, or?
No, it was just where he lived.
Okay.
They say you can actually capture the whistling and some of his presence there too.
Really?
But again, it's the only house with a ghost story on it because it actually happened. So again, the stuff that I'm telling you guys about, I only go after the real stories. This isn't stuff that is just the legends and lore. Sometimes
Is that what a lot of the other tours are? We never met.
it depends. So they're kind of 50-50.
Right.
And everybody has their own version of each story. So it is what it is. The story they're telling, there's a cemetery right where they're standing. Inside that cemetery, there's a sign. It says there's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. The reason for that, there's no ghost but the Holy Ghost here. 1888, a young lady dies by the name of Sue Howard Hardy. And if you think about her name, her initials are... You've seen it come up before. So, she dies 6 days after her stillborn child. 1987, we have a local photographer in town. He's taking pictures of all the cemeteries. He captures a full apparition, woman wearing a shawl, baby basket next to her, over that grave. It's 1987, no Photoshop, no cell phones. He sends it to Kodak to get it debunked. They can't debunk the picture either. So, the picture is like gold for guys like me. This is what I do for a living, right? However, the picture's cursed. I am not going to pass it around. Females that handle the picture, you're going to get the same type of symptoms I told you about at Big John's, the headache, the nausea, the dizziness. Females that are pregnant and holding the picture, and when I say holding, it's even on your cell phone. You're not going to have a good pregnancy based on the gist of the story. I'm not going to be the guy where you guys had a great vacation and call me 9 months that something's wrong with your family and it's my fault. You want to look up the picture and we actually have some evidence from it, I will give you the heated warning before you open the link that this is the cursed picture for females. So that way you won't click it by accident. You can look at it on a computer, have a mail show you, what the picture is. Super cool stuff, it's rad, but I'm not cursing anybody on my groups. Pretty much. You'd be perfectly fine.
I just want to see it now.
Let's see it.
Alright.
I can't.
Now, let's see it.
To get your mindset on pirates, because we're going to be talking about pirates across the street. That's where we're headed next. Pirates. Pirates. Treasure hunting pirates. Yeah. You're in Charleston. You're in Charleston. You're going to hear about some pirates. That's for sure. So, you guys see the bird got flying past that crowd back there off in the distance? That's the pirate house. So the pirate house is where Blackbeard's men would come off their ships, they would hang out, meet with a few ladies, have a place to sleep, and they dug a tunnel underneath the pirate house 1 block away to Dock Street Theater, because at the time it was called Planters Hotel. It was a whorehouse, a playhouse, and a hotel. They would go there for 2 reasons. I'm sure you guys can guess which ones they are. They already had a place to sleep, so they needed a whorehouse and a playhouse. The playhouse, they went there because pirates tied really good knots. They would actually work backstage in between bartering with the locals. So, for you North Carolinians, there was a rumor that Blackbeard's treasure was in that tunnel. We just filled that in the 1990s. Like, this is a true story. So, there's no treasure down there. We all know that damn treasure's in North Carolina. So, again, if you're any kind of pirate person, you know that already. Especially, I think there's some North Carolinians here. So, yep, go looking for treasures. But that, by the way, the pirate house, you can't miss it. When you guys are walking around, because some of you just got here, it's got an anchor on the front. Somebody lives there. Don't go in his backyard poking around. He gets pissed. Don't ask me how I know, but don't be poking around that back courtyard. He gets a little angry. So we are going to go across the street now that your mindset is on pirates, because there's a huge story that we're going to dive into pretty heavily, probably more heavily than what we did even at the Pinkman Mansion site. Even with the amount of evidence we got there, fingers crossed. This actually, by the way, is the second night of a full moon, a thunder moon no less. So again, I don't normally get things unless it is a named moon. I normally get higher activity on a new moon. It's when everything resets for me. I see patterns. You guys gotta remember, I'm out here 6 nights a week. So on new moons, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a light night. But thunder moon last night, I had a ton of evidence. So it was light in real time, but going through it, this morning, there was quite a bit there that I was able to piece together. I know, right? That's how it rolls. That's why I lose my voice on the weekends. No, they got the whole group. going to go across the street, and we're going to head into the left side of that building.
Good stories.
Yeah, this is cool. I want to know, I know we're not going there, but what's the address of that one where you hear the whistling?
Oh.
Did he say?
No. I thought he said in that alleyway too, you can actually hear it sometimes. You spooked yet?
Okay, because I just walked right there and said 15.
Over here, in this next story. Perfect.
Okay. Wow. So I heard something else. Okay.
Madam, is history that boring to you, buddy? Or did I just make you sit down and you yawn?
No, you just made me sit down and
All right, this one's a doozy, but I kind of have to give you the layout of the land first. I told you guys about the Charlestown Wall. That's Cumberland Street. It came right up Cumberland Street, went right past the powder magazine. That's the building with the crosses on it. By the way, those aren't crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. You're in Charleston. Earthquake bolts, because of the big earthquake I told you about at the beginning, they're on turnbuckles. So if it gets quaked again, those turnbuckles get tightened and it's supposed to straighten up the building. That doesn't work, just so you guys know. So those are the very first earthquake bolts that we put in Charleston, because this is the oldest government building on the East Coast. It was finished in 1713.
Oh, wow.
So the construction of this building is literally locked into the corner walls of the Charlestown Wall. It went up about half a block, started going south. Remember I told you East Bay, it went south? We're now literally right in the corner of it. Why? It held gunpowder for 7 different wars, the last servant being the Civil War. If a cannon attacks it from the water, we're 3 blocks away. It's going to have a hard time getting through the 32-inch thick walls. That's about 32 inches. If the cannonball goes all the way through and explodes the gunpowder, there's sand in the roof from 1712 that's supposed to go up in the air and then fall with the explosion to put out the fire. Sounds like a great idea, but that shit don't work either. This place is a museum now because it's never been attacked. Okay, so how do we know that that sand trick doesn't work? We had another powder magazine closer to the battery, right there at the peninsula tip, obviously much closer to the water, got hit, sand goes up, cannot put out the fire. Idea sucks, let's move on. So, I give you all of this because why we're here is because this is going to be a familiar building to the person we're going to talk about during their time here in Charleston. The building took 10 years to build, 1703 to 1713. 1708 is where the story begins. Kylie, come on, you gotta wake up.
Here I am.
So, Anne Cormac comes here. You guys gotta follow me, this one's twisty. Anne Cormac from Ireland comes here with Dad and his mistress. The mistress is her mom. The 3 of them are coming
What?
here.
Say this again.
Alright, I'll slow down. Anne Cormac from Ireland comes here with her dad and his mistress. The mistress is her mom. The 3 of them are getting away from his wife.
Okay.
You guys all got me on that one?
Yeah.
How scorned and pissed off was this woman? They moved halfway across the world in 1708.
So good.
Yeah. So, she sees this building. She's obviously familiar with it. Dad has a plantation up in the Georgetown area, about an hour and a half north of here by car. But she comes down here to do all the business and bartering. We're going to fast forward to past 1713, 1715. It says escape, not lying.
Wow.
So, we're now on 1715. Who heard the number 15?
Me.
1715, pirates are coming through town, right in the middle of the golden age of piracy. Anne is kind of a badass. Anne actually stabbed one of her servants when she was a child with a knife to the belly. If that gives you the mentality of what this young lady was like. She sees these pirates, she's drooling from the mouth, of course. She falls in love. This guy's name is James Bonney. Dad doesn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. I'm not going to approve my daughter to marry a filthy pirate. She doesn't care. They run away to Jamaica. They get married. Anne Cormac becomes Anne Bonny, the most famous female pirate of the Golden Age. A
Wow.
lot more. Hang on. This is a doozy of a ride. When they get there, she realizes that James, he's a privateer, which makes him a coward. He's a spy for the British on his own people. This is not the Captain Jack Sparrow guy that she wanted. She falls in love again. We're on to guy number 2. I'll keep count.
What did she do with the first one?
What's that?
What did she do with the first one?
Oh, she's still married.
Oh, okay.
Second one tried to buy the dowry, and the first one refused. So she's still married this whole time. She remains Anne Bonny.
Okay.
The second one, his name is John Rackham, aka Calico Jack. Much cooler name, much younger guy. They call him Calico Jack because he wears the jackets of the men he kills. So, yeah, pretty cool guy. So we're going to refer to him as Jack throughout the rest of the story, even though his real name is John. Okay, Jack is much cooler because we can all remember Pirate Jack, right? We're in 2021. So, but anyway, he has his own ship. She wants to be part of it. Females curse pirate ships. You cannot have a female on the ship. He says you can be part of the crew, but you're going to dress like a guy. She's okay with this cross-dressing because Dad used to hide her back at his attorney office in Ireland to keep her away from his wife. So she's okay with whatever. I just want to be a pirate and kick ass. So she dresses like a guy, but she's allowed to dress as a female in his quarters. Of course, he's the captain. That's how things roll, right? So being a female in his quarters, she eventually gets pregnant. Can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the ship. So he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby, come back, we'll figure it out once we get back. So he's still running his ship. She has the baby, returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to this child. She's also dressed like a female. This makes Jack angry. He just pretty much captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. She's going to go flirt with this new pirate crew, guy number 3, and make him even more jealous. The guy she's flirting with reveals his gender to be a female, pretending to be a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack just captured.
She fell in love with another lady.
Oh, I like this.
Allegedly.
She thought was a man.
She thought. So the two become friends because they both want to be pirates, and they actually have a very similar background. This young lady's name was Mary Reed, just like you read a book. Mary's father had a mistress, there was an illegitimate child, that kind of thing, same type of history. So the two become friends. She convinces Mary to become part of the crew. The British find out where they are. They're one of the final ships that the British is actually after. They send in the entire fleet to come capture this ship. Now, the entire men of the crew, they're all down below deck, too drunk to come up and fight. It's Anne Bonny and Mary Reed literally taking on a whole fleet of ships.
Wow.
Obviously, they get captured. As Calico Jack is being arrested, Anne Bonny's last words were to him, you should have fought like a man instead of going down like a dog. So the word dog shows up here. I told you, she's pretty hardcore. So, the judge, his name is Nicholas Laws. When you guys hear my name, it's not me, it's the judge. So, he wants to see the two valiant men that fought so hard by themselves. He already tries to hang all the other men, including Calico Jack. They're dead and gone. A week later, November 28th, 1720. These two young ladies go in front of the judge. They reveal their gender. He doesn't care that they're female. They're still pirates in his eyes. Their last words to him were, we plead our bellies, which basically means they're claiming both to be pregnant. You cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. Fine, we'll send you both back to jail. They go back to jail. Dad is still here in Charleston. He bails out Anne, brings her back home. She remarries, guy number 4. She has 4 children and dies at the age of 84. Wow. I know, crazy history. I'm only giving you the things, I've read like 5, 6, 7, I don't even know how many books on this woman. I'm only giving you the things that were common among all of those books. So again, I'm trying to stick to as much fact as I possibly can, but you're probably wondering what happened to Mary Reed. She's a pirate in a Jamaican jail. She died from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail a year later, 1721. Now, funny thing about last night's tour, I've been having this cat hang around. It's kind of blonde in color, he has a flea collar on. He will stop on certain numbers in the lot and sit on the number. The number's 20, 28, because not 15, but November 28th, 1720 was the date of their trial, and he's also sat on number 21, which would have been the date of Mary Reed's death. So, again, it's weird. Last night, the words cat slowly came up on that list, and we didn't see him until I said, okay guys, thanks, have a great night. All of a sudden, here comes little Jack. Walking in, I've been calling him Jack. He comes walking in, and we're just watching him. Like, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna sit? Because I kind of gave him the heads up too. So we'll see if Jack shows up again tonight. Yep. And I've seen him every night for at least the past 3 weeks.
Wow.
So I don't know if he's just eating here, if he's finding mice, what he's doing, but
And he has a collar?
he has just a flea collar. There's no tag.
Oh wow.
So we'll kind of see if he pops in.
Somebody's taking care of him.
I do need to change out your battery, so you're going to hang back with me. Cameras. If you want to go to the front of the powder magazine instead of hanging out over there by the side and get some footage on the front, you can. Just don't interrupt other tours. I already annoy them enough. Spirit boxes, you can listen pretty loud. Just keep in mind that brick building is an apartment building. Lasers. Where's my lasers at? If you're going to go to the front, try not to go past the powder magazine. Otherwise, you're shining it into somebody's living room. kind of keep it to the front lawn only. But yeah, I do need to change out his camera battery because I know it's probably dead. And let's spread out and have some fun. 10-15 minutes based on the amount of activity.
Yeah. What's screaming?
So, the farther away, you're gonna hear. Okay, so look at this. Anything over 2.5 is cool. This is how strong the signal is. A spiritual signal, perhaps. So anything like here is really big. And they work independently. So even though you see a 0 and it's lighting up, they work independently.
Somebody getting in that car?
Keep walking. Yeah, it should flicker more. It's pretty cool. What number do you have?
Like 1 now.
Cool.
Pretty cool. I like this.
Yeah.
I like the stories.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah. Really cool. Ooh. I want to see your thing like go off though.
Come on. Come on, Gilly.
Press the turn it around. That white button. There you go. What's it at?
Oh. It's at 0.4. So it's independent of each other? They're
Yeah.
two different?
So you could be 0, but your thing's going purple. That's still something.
Interesting. Alright. You getting anything on there?
I don't really even know what to look for.
What was the best story you've heard so far?
The whistles. I want to see the whistles.
Oh yeah, the whistling.
We gotta go ask them where to hear it.
I also want to see the cat. I'm guessing this is our last spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just bumping downtown right now. Oh, I just got a 6. Is it because I flipped it real hard?
What color?
When I flick it really hard, it just does it.
Alright, that's probably you then. You're not spiritual, you're not creepy enough.
No spirits want to be around me. What the hell? It's not spiritual, I guess. How do you tell if there's ghosts around with the lasers?
So, like, they would stay by someone who they've heard the thing go off.
Yeah.
Like, let's say yours is going off right now. They'd come by you and take pictures.
So his podcast, you hear what it's called? It's the name of what he's got on his shirt.
What's it called?
It's like cemetery. I'll read his shirt again. Stories in the cemetery.
I'll listen to it tomorrow on the drive.
Yeah. Listen to it going to Asheville.
Yep.
Perfect.
You ain't spiritual, you ain't creepy, it's not. Where's the cat?
I know, I want to see the cat now. How much of it do you buy into?
I want to see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
When he sends stuff.
Pretty sure. I think we might be parked in that parking garage. It might be.
Give me my phone, I'll tell you. Or just go stay right here.
So you're trying to go out after this?
It's already 11 now. Almost 11.
Any more ghosts?
We heard a couple things. He wrote it down, but nothing off the top of his head. And the full moon is out right now. So look,
Ooh, that's
right
good!
now.
Awesome.
Anything, Ian? You hear anything? I'm like picking up everything.
So cool.
You guys are from North Carolina?
From Charlotte.
Charlotte, nice. We're going to Asheville tomorrow.
Really? I love Asheville. Love it. Where are you guys from?
From Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yep. Yep.
Congratulations if you're
Yeah.
fans, I guess.
Yeah.
Championship.
I know. Big deal. Ooh!
Oh,
The spirit likes the Bucks, I guess.
Right.
got something.
I want to go out to Milwaukee. It looks
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Is it nice?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, really fun, especially in the summer. It gets a little cold in the winter,
Okay.
but yeah, it's awesome. It's right on the lake, Lake Michigan, so that's nice.
Okay.
And yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Asheville,
good time.
love Asheville.
Yeah, we're excited. We've never
She
been.
loves it. It's my
Yeah.
sister.
Oh, awesome.
She loves it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. A little bit of a drive, but
The hiking place outside of the breweries.
Yeah. Ann, was it? Ann McCormick? Ann. But yeah, a lot of outdoor activities.
Cool.
It's like really kind of artsy.
yeah,
Okay.
hipster, artsy, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ashton and things. We trying.
Dear Ann, why did you want to become
I said
a
dear
pirate?
Ann.
Dear diary.
And
Matt, we are a 6-minute walk.
Anne Frank, right.
What?
We're only 6 minutes walk from where we started.
Alright, cool.
Tell me something. We have to come back
Okay.
downtown.
From where we ate,
Oh, gotcha.
which is where we parked.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Cool.
y'all doing that other food.
picking up anything?
Not currently.
God.
You're not spooky, Maddie.
The ghosts just don't care about me. I'll listen to a podcast, you know.
I know, right?
No, it's not. He has to say.
We don't even have a guy.
Let's go see what words they captured. Oh, what you say? Ooh. What were you saying? Oh yeah, the podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's me, hon. I'm spooked.
A few stuff. Mask, root, violet. Not sure what means what.
Definitely sex or something.
Yeah.
Attraction to.
Yeah.
Well, the
Pregnancy.
So, again, there's a lot going on, which is good. And I was taking up the other spirit box at the time. What happened with you?
We just switched out.
Oh, I was
We
like,
just
hang
switched
on, why
out.
are you not filming?
Yeah, we just switched out here.
Your boss looked over. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I will tell you that normally here is probably a good thing you switch. This is normally a dead zone for the EMF part of that, which is the numbers.
Yeah.
If we get anything, it's
Yeah.
exciting. But the fact that they're getting so much between the two spirit boxes I've gotten so far,
Yeah.
I've got lists of stuff so far. So again,
Yeah,
like, there's a lot going on.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I picked some up earlier, right?
I'm not getting much.
He asked who Mary, what did she do before becoming a pilot? And he heard the word pro. Ha! Got it. He said I heard like pro or cross. What did you hear? Cross.
Prostitute?
Prostitute.
Pro. Wow. You gotta look it up. Tattoo. Cross. Tattoo cross. Yeah. Pro. Cross. We picking up everything they laying down.
They're giving me
Really?
wow.
Wow.
I only write down the road. So if it's not relevant, I'm
It's
not.
getting a lot of stuff.
Yep. It'll be cool to read it on the way tomorrow.
Give you guys a few more minutes just because there's a lot going on with these spirit boxes. So, there's two sides of the cemetery. We were on the eastern side, which is for Native Charlestonians only. This is for everybody else. John Calhoun, our 7th vice president, is buried on this side.
Wow.
So, again, he's literally on the other side of that wall.
Okay, we're right at that tree with all the green is on that side. It's like the perfect family tree picture.
That was
It's a great
beautiful.
picture when you take it, too, though. Especially turn it black and white.
That's a cool tree.
I use it for social.
Get behind you.
Beautiful.
Big one.
Last night's thunder moon was actually, there was a great picture. It was orange. It was just super bright. That's why it was called thunder moon.
I need to sit my ass down.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of walking around and standing.
I sound so old.
Standing in one place is like, it's hard to do after a
My
while.
lower back hurts.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she gave me that device as soon as it started dying. You see how she worked it?
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just not spiritual.
You're not spooky.
I'm not spooky enough. Oh well.
Right. It was like the fruit boxes we got.
Alright, let's get everybody grouped
Alright.
up.
Group it
Get
up.
this party wrapped up. Come on over, everybody. We're gonna go over to the top. box, and when it does not record, we've got the number 6. The word pregnant came up tonight. Breastfeeding. Military. Next to a military building. Let's see. 14. Was that the number?
Counselor 5.
5?
Yeah, 5.
We asked how many total children Anne was actually pregnant with.
5. Correct.
And that's it?
4 after she got here, and then the child in Cuba. 5. Let's see. Trying to read my own handwriting in the dark. That's never fun. Let's see. Fire we heard. I'm sure there was some type of fire. I want to say it was in this back building that's apartments now, because it used to be a mercantile. And then they did ask, what did you do before you were a pirate, Mary? And we got the answer of pro, which probably prostitution. So again, lots going on here. Kind of reading my own notes in the dark is a little fuzzy, but this was actually quite a bit going on. A lot of numbers I have to dive into, so the number 5 is definitely relevant. The word 14. Sex came up. We had 14, that was what was on there.
Sex, yes.
Judge.
Judge.
So I have to listen for my name now on that red spirit box, because if we have judge, the other word, there's 2 judges that were named Nick. So, and they're all related to this location. So on the other side of me, on the other side of the Powder Magazine, is the Nicholas Trott House. He was the first Chief Justice in the U.S.
Really?
Yes. Now, ironically, Charleston doesn't always have their history correct. If you follow it, he didn't actually live there. He stayed there for a short time, so he can go live in the house that was at where Dock Street Theater is now. So, again, they labeled that historical marker so they can keep the historical marker of Dock Street Theater and not label it the Nicholas Trott home. So, yes. But they were both Chief Justices. We have Nicholas Laws, L-A-W-E-S, and then Nicholas Trott, who is actually here in Charleston. So, again, lots of weird, I can go on all night about stupid nuggets of Charleston, because there's a lot of weird history things. A lot was actually going on. I think we got all the cameras up front, did we not? Did we get them all? At least a little bit of footage of the front for me to take a look at? So here's what's going to happen from here. I'm going to start collecting devices and kind of give you guys a heads up. Like, I don't know where you guys parked at, so who is near where we started?